The Chicago Bears must get this right. No pressure, Ryan Poles. We're less than a week away from the NFL draft, and I think it's that time to get serious. And I mean really serious. For a lot of teams in the NFL, drafting in the top 10, we got the Atlanta Falcons, we got the Detroit Lions, we got the Seattle Seahawks. And it feels as if the Chicago Bears, although they have the 9th overall pick, their pick holds a different amount of weight. I feel like this is a pick with all of the steam we have going into the season, all of the expectations we have. Justin Fields is expected to take that next step. This pick holds the most weight in the top 10 for me. And I think it's a pick that if you miss, you set back your franchise for a couple years. So there's a lot of guys we can take in this draft. And we're talking about Peter Scaronski, we're talking about Paris Johnson, Jalen Carter. I could throw all the names out there. And those aren't the guys that I'm saying let's get, but those are some potential names. And I think this is going to be a crazy draft. So what we're going to do in this video, and to not get ourselves in a situation where our draft board completely falls apart, I'm going to create a hierarchy. The first selection in this hierarchy, we have protect Fields. We have established the run game, and that's the offensive line guys that we're talking about in that first round. With this second hierarchy, we got go get the football, and that's going to be the pass rushers. That's going to be the defenders, those type of guys, Atari Wilson, all those type of guys. And in that third tier of the hierarchy, now this is what I'm hearing. I'm not saying this is what I would do, but this is what I'm hearing. We're going to have the weapons. And yes, in a draft where we should go offensive line or pass rush, there's a world where the Chicago Bears may, in fact, take a weapon. So let's get straight into this. I'm going to start with this first hierarchy, and those are the guys who are going to establish the run game, who are going to protect our asset. That's Justin Fields. Now, starting off with the guy that I've heard a lot of Chicago Bears fans are high on, Paris Johnson. I think Paris Johnson protected that blind side to the best of his ability for C.J. Stroud. And I liked it. I think him coming into this team, this is where we're going to kind of deep dive into the situation, why this may or may not be the pick. I think Paris Johnson, he can play right tackle. If it's really come down to a stretch, we may have to get some guard flexibility. But I think he's a left tackle. If I were drafting him to put him in a position, I want him on my blind side. Looking at the length, looking at the size, the ability to move, the play strength, the technique. I like that at the left side. But this is where we get into it. What do we exactly want to do with the guys we already have? Because we can't address this draft in our offensive line as if we don't already have players. We still got Braxton. We still got Jenkins. We still got Whitehair, those guys. So in a situation like this, it kind of begs the question. Do we want to kick Cody Whitehair to center? Do we want to kick Tevin Jenkins to guard? We just picked up Nate Davis. So even in that situation, the left guard may be someone we address. If we don't kick Cody Whitehair to the center, then we're going to have to address center, and that could be later on. So now, this comes with the next guy, Peter Scaronski. Can Peter Scaronski stick at left tackle? Can he stick? Can he stick? That's the question that we don't know right now, and a lot of people are asking. I think he can. And I think him being on this team, having the versatility to do whatever you need him to do. So if you want to stick him at left tackle, you can try it. If it doesn't work, you can kick him to left guard. You can kick Cody Whitehair to center. And, some people don't like that possibility. Some people really want that tackle. So this is going to get me into these last two guys, Broderick Jones, Darnell Wright. And I think as we get closer and closer, like I said, less than a week away, Darnell Wright is picking up that steam. So I quickly just comment below, what do we think about Darnell Wright? Because if I'm Ryan Poles, if I'm the GM, I'm seriously considering Darnell Wright with that pick to go to my right tackle. And that's one thing. That's a way we can look at it. But if the offensive line board doesn't play how we want it to, there's a lot of endless options. And in this next tier of hierarchy, we got the guys who are going to go get the football. It's pretty simple. Jalen Carter, Tyree Wilson, Lucas Van Ness. The draft board plays out. We don't like the offensive guys left. This could be a very serious possibility. And if it were me, Jalen Carter's on that board at 9, I'm not letting him slip. I understand the red flags, but I don't think that this is the type of red flags that will carry over. Now, I understand, had time to prepare for the biggest interview of your life. You weren't prepared. But I do think you get with Chicago, and they're building a culture there. It's all about the culture. You believe in that culture, you can believe that any draft pick you get will fall in line with that culture and be a stand-up football player, stand-up citizen. Atari Wilson, this is the long shot. But I think if he's at 9, you really have to be considering that, because the size, the length, watch the film, you see it, it's all there, the traits. We talk about a trait-typical player. Trayvon Walker, a trait-typical player. He's going to come in and he's going to stop the run. That's day one, he's going to stop the run. And then you work with your defensive line coach. You build that pass rush arsenal. I think this can be a sweet move and a great value at 9 if he gets there. Now, Lucas Van Ness. This is kind of the high reward, very high risk, because this can go completely wrong, but it can go completely right. And I think another guy coming in, powerful rusher. Starred at the combine, ran the 4.5, but I'm not getting caught up into that. I'm looking at the limited tape that we had at Iowa. Remember, he didn't start there, but still, we get him in here, work with our defensive line coach, learn how to use that power, work on some counter rules in the pass rush game. We really have something going there with Lucas Van Ness. Now, this is where we spice it up a little bit. And we saved the best for last. We saved the craziest for last. We got the weapons. It's 2 guys, and it's only going to be 2 guys. Bijan Robinson, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Now, don't jump at me, because this is what I've seen, and this could be a very real possibility. Now, we got Khalil Herbert. We lost David Montgomery. We picked up Deonta Foreman. Still got Travis Homer. I feel confident in saying Bijan Robinson is better than all 3 of those guys. And I'm saying that with a straight face, even though you can't see my face. But this is a nice thought to let percolate in your mind. Jackson Smith-Njigba, understand, we just got DJ Moore, still got Darnell Mooney, still got Claypool. But as I was saying before, and as I'm going to say again, 3 receivers are not enough. In today's game, a pass-heavy game, you give Justin Fields all of these weapons, and you think he's not going to succeed? There's no way that can happen. If he gets Jackson Smith-Njigba or Bijan in this offense, and we use the rest of those picks to go just about all defense, kicking in some offensive line in there too, I can be sold on that point. And I want to know what you guys think about it. But that's going to end it all for the hierarchies, what we have. The Bears must get this right. The division is looking pretty strong. I think Jordan Love has a lot to show us, and I'm interested to see what he shows us. The Detroit Lions, they're coming. It's going to be a dogfight. The Minnesota Vikings, I don't know.